everyone, and welcome to a Monday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. All-Star Weekend is over in the NBA, and we are officially into the second half of the NBA season and the NHL season. The road to the playoffs begins now. The road to Major League Baseball spring training. It's going to be a very wonderful spring and into the summer. So let's just quickly run down what we did yesterday. Team LeBron, that was not a fun basketball game. I am one of the bigger supporters of the NBA All-Star Game. I went to bed at halftime, so maybe it got better in the second half. I know traditionally it does get more competitive in the second half, but the first half of that game could not have been more boring. It was one thing when guys were, running down the court, dunking, showing, breaking ankles, showing signs of athleticism, but you're not paying money to just watch guys run up and lazily lob three-point shots, half-court shots. You can see that at the local YMCA, right? So I get you're not going to play that hard, but do things that are at least other people can't do. Dunks. LeBron had a couple nice dunks, which was cool to see, but just running up and throwing up threes, not even pretending to try on defense. Not really my flavor there, so didn't enjoy that. Team Giannis won the game. LeBron's team lost, and we had a side bet on LeBron or Donovan Mitchell winning the MVP, and they didn't, which is fine. We did hit the under 1.5 goals for the first period of the Nashville Predators Minnesota Wild, so that was good. And we had Edmonton Oilers on the money line. They lost in overtime. They had a 3-0 lead in this game. It's actually the second game in a row they've blown a 3-0 lead. They cannot stop the puck. They need to do something at the deadline. They can score, but they cannot stop the puck. So we lost those. If you do follow me on Twitter, we also had an under for the Jets and the Devils that hit as well, so that is all good. So we are now into a new week. Last week we finished 9-5-1 and up 4 units, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. This week is going to be predominantly hockey. We've got lots of hockey as the NBA remains off on the All-Star break, and tonight we're going to start in Boston for the Bruins at TD Garden. It is the Boston Bruins, the league's best team, taking on the Ottawa Senators. Bruins come into this 42-8-2. Senators 27-24. Bruins are 23-2 at home, and the Senators 11-2 on the road. They're not great. So I was kind of deciding, what do I want to do with this game? The odds for the money line, Bruins are minus 275 on the money line. They're even minus 120 on the puck line. I don't really love either of those. Puck line's a bit difficult. Even though they've been 35-20 to the puck line this season, the Senators are not bad. They're 31-24. Senators did play last night. They beat St. Louis 7-2. But I'm just going to, I've started liking these bets, betting the first period. So if we just take the Boston Bruins in the first period to be ahead by 1 goal, it's plus 108 at FanDuel. On this season, the Boston Bruins are the third best team to the first period money line. They are 25-14 with 16 pushes. There is no push potential here because it's a 0.5, which is fine. But they are one of the best teams. They have the third most wins in the first period in the NHL. Ottawa Senators are more towards the bottom of the pack. They're 16-17-22 in the first period. Boston Bruins are up 6.36 units on the first period money line for a 7.4% return. Ottawa Senators are down 5.5 units in the first period. So I like the Boston Bruins to jump out early. They haven't played in a couple of days. They're going to ideally, Allmark is scheduled to start tonight, which is great news for him getting a shutout in the first period. So as long as they can get a first period goal against the tired Ottawa Senators, I think we cash that, and we cash that for plus money. So Boston Bruins money line in the first period, plus 108 at FanDuel. Next up, we're going to head down south. We've got a battle of the 28-25 Florida Panthers taking on the awful 17-33-3 Anaheim Ducks. Anaheim is 18-17 on the road. Florida is 15-8 at home. Again, you're looking at a game where the Florida Panthers are minus 400. The puck line is minus 164, like just pretty ridiculous. So we've had some luck going with totals. We're going to do that again today. I like the Anaheim Ducks and the Florida Panthers to go over 7. It's plus 105. 7's a big number, right? But again, I like 6s and I like 7s because you get the push potential. I like betting under 6. I like betting over 7. If it lands on 7 or 6, you push. Both these teams have been exceptional to the over this season. Anaheim is 32-24 to the over. Florida is 34-20 to the over. When you look at recent totals, and Anaheim's lost 4 straight games, and in those games there's been 9, 10, 9, and 9 goals. And then you go back previous to that, there were 5, 5, 3, but then 8, 8, and 9. Florida is something similar. Florida is playing 500 hockey over their last handful of games, but there's been 10, 9, 8, 3, 8, 5, 8, 7, 7, 13 goals have been scored. So the over is 8-0 in the Ducks' last 8 games following a loss. The over is 5-0 in their last 5 following a home loss of 3 or more goals. Over is 5-0 in the Ducks' last 5 playing on 2 days rest, and over is 5-0 in the Ducks' last 5 against the Atlantic. For Florida, very similar. Over is 6-1 in their last 7 on 1 day's rest. Over is 8-1-1 in their last 10 home games. Over is 5-0 in the Panthers' last 5 following a loss of 3 or more goals. So I just think that we're going to see a lot of goals tonight. Panthers aren't terrible, but they're not great, and they're scoring a ton of goals. They're giving up a ton of goals. You've got 2 goalies in net who have save percentages around 9. You have Gibson for the Ducks, who's got a GAA of 4.08. You've got Bobrovsky, who's got a goals against over 3. So I'm going to take the Florida Panthers and the Anaheim Ducks to go over 7 for plus 105 at Bet365. And the last game of the night, this should be a great hockey game. We've got the 34-21-1 Winnipeg Jets on the road at Madison Square Garden against the 33-14-7 New York Rangers. Winnipeg, despite their record, isn't great on the road. They're 14-13-1. The Rangers have been good at home. They're 16-19-3-1. The Winnipeg Jets have lost 2 straight games, and they played last night. You know I like betting unders, and you know I like betting against teams that have played the night before. They just lost 4-2 to New Jersey. It was a very hard-fought game, a hard-fought battle. New Jersey's a tough team. They're a physical team. They're going to wear you out. Previous to that, they did lose to Columbus, and then previous to that, they did win, but it was in a shootout. So they've been playing a lot of minutes lately and a lot of tough minutes. Rangers, maybe somewhat similar. The last 2 games have gone to overtime. A loss to Carolina, a loss to Edmonton, but they haven't played in 2 days. The Jets are 0-4 in their last 4 against the Eastern Conference. Rangers are on fire. They're 4-0 in their last 4 playing on 1 day's rest. They're 5-0 in their last 5 Monday games. 5-0 in their last 5 home games, and 5-0 in their last 5 against the Central. Furthermore, the New York Jets, the Winnipeg Jets are 1-4 in their last 5 meetings, and the favorite is 6-2. I don't necessarily like the number in full time, including the overtime and the shootout. But at FanDuel, you can get this number right around even, minus 102, if you bet it in regulation. The Winnipeg Jets have only gone to over. The record's 34-21, 1-0. They're not playing a lot of overtime games. They're not playing in a lot of shootouts. They've gone 1 shootout in the last 10 games. So the likelihood is that this game is going to end in regulation one way or another. And I like that to be the New York Rangers to catch the Winnipeg Jets again with some tired legs. So 3 hockey bets today in the NHL. No video tomorrow. I take Tuesdays off as just a refresher course. So no video tomorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday. So let us run back down this card for Monday. I like the Boston Bruins on the money line in the first period for plus 108 at FanDuel. I like the Anaheim Ducks and the Florida Panthers to go over 7 for plus 105 at Bet365. And I like the New York Rangers on the money line in regulation for minus 102 at FanDuel. As always, you drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Conium for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram for just the picks portion, and audio versions available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's just enjoy some NHL hockey this week as we wait for the NBA to return, as spring hopefully will be in the air soon. So enjoy your Monday, and let's talk sports.